Every year, millions of people die from colorectal cancer. In the US only, nearly 137,000 people are annually diagnosed with the deadly disease. Thankfully, colorectal cancers are largely preventable with regular screening and is treatable with early detection. We are MediEye, a medical AI company, and we are here to contribute to the early diagnosis of colorectal cancer. Hi, I'm Alex Lim, CEO of MediEye and the developer of Alexis One.
Hi, I'm Alexander Judelson, and I'm the COO of MediEye.
Hello, I'm Isha Rao, and I'm the CFO of MediEye.
Hi, I'm Mingu Huang, and I'm the CMO of MediEye.
Hi, I'm Chengdae Huang, and I'm the CSO of MediEye.
The gold standard method of screening colorectal cancer is colonoscopy. However, while colorectal cancer can be cured with a very high possibility with an early detection, colonoscopy accompanies many setbacks that deter physicians from performing the most efficient and effective procedure. Our product, Alexis One, is designed to fix these setbacks with a state-of-the-art deep learning techniques that will revolutionize the colonoscopy procedures. Now, let's dive into each of the issues and our technological solutions to it. The major objective of colonoscopy is to find polyps, an abnormal growth that has the potential to be a precursor of cancer. However, polyps are often ambiguous in size and shape and are covered in fluids and shadows created by the colon walls. This nature and the operator's physical conditions cause many polyps to be unrecognized. Several studies have confirmed that about 1 in every 4 polyps are missed. These polyps can grow to be a cancerous tissue, so it is very important to remove all of them. Alexis One uses semantic segmentation, a type of deep learning model, to automatically find polyps. A unit architecture with a resonant 50 backbone is used to increase accuracy. As a flashlight attached to the device reflects from the fluid inside the colon, it causes specular reflections to appear on the captured image, hindering the operator's vision. Alexis One solves this issue by using a denoising autoencoder model with a custom synthetic data creation algorithm to remove these white spots. Prior to removal, a polyp size is measured for diagnosis, but there is currently no device to accurately measure them. Our product uses relative size measurement using a pre-known size of a QR code. Physicians classify the type of polyp before they remove it, and currently the only measure is by the operator's experience. This is adopted into the semantic segmentation model described earlier, with a different set of training data. Lastly, during endoscopy, operators often need to see the polyp closely to consider detailed features, in which most endoscopes are only capable of magnifying with insufficient quality. Alexis One uses a super resolution model, another type of deep learning technique, to enhance the quality of colonoscopic images.
Adaptability and versatility. These are what make Alexis One so special. The potential of applying artificial intelligence in the medical field has been widely recognized over the past few years. As a result, some studies and patents have been developed, with some products reaching the market. Out of these released products, we've identified our competitors to be EndoAid from Olympus, CAD-Eye from Fujifilm, Discovery from Pentax, and EndoBrain Eye from Cybernet. Nonetheless, through our innovative application of Windows Overlay, Alexis One is compatible with most existing endoscopic devices. Our competitors' products are attached to endoscopes themselves, compatible with only the manufacturing company's endoscope, or are sold as an entirely separate hardware. Alexis One's versatility lowers the cost of our product, enabling small clinics and medical institutions to more easily approach Alexis One. We also have a simple installation process so that users feel less burdened approaching our product. Alexis One's multitude of capabilities also differentiates our product. We have implemented 5 different functions upon consulting with a number of practitioners about their dissatisfaction with current endoscopy procedures and possible improvements that could be made. No other product is as versatile in performing all such functions at the moment.
We plan to successfully launch Alexis One in 3 phases. We estimate a timeline of 2 years for us to bring Alexis One into the market and start generating sales. The first phase is the development phase, in which we fully develop Alexis One. The process is expected to take about a year and to cost about $220,000, which we will be compensating with government research grants such as the Young Businessman Startup Program and the K Global Startup Contest. The second phase is registration processes for both MedEye and Alexis One. MedEye will be first registered as a corporation. Alexis One will then undergo the process of receiving regulatory approvals, a mandatory requirement for any sales of medical devices. We aim to initially get approvals in Europe, the CE certification, and in Korea, the KFDA approval. The preparation will include clinical trials and data preparation, which we will be using a contract research organization, CRO, to assist us. We also expect to prepare medical device good manufacturing products, GMP, and ISO 13485 approval. For the CE certification, we will set up an EC representative as well. Alexis One is categorized as a Class 2 medical device according to the standard FDA classification, which allows us to have relatively simple clinical trials and data preparation. This process is expected to take about a year and to cost about $381,000. Such cost will be subsidized by equity financing and debt financing. Our target investors are medical practitioners who will be provided with free usage of Alexis One on top of the return so that we could also garner a loyal clientele that would open the gate to marketing our product. The third phase is the sales environment creation, where we would be constructing our website, the marketplace for Alexis One. The process would include DNN server construction, domain hosting, web design, payment security, and more. Phase 3 is expected to have an expense of $58,000, which will be provided by government and bank loans.
The AI healthcare market is on a rapid incline, valued at $13.4 billion in 2018, and expected to reach $229.2 billion by 2025.
In such a great market, we predict with our estimation for sales that we will reach our goal in 1.5 years. Alexis One will be sold at an initial purchase price of $3,000 and will have monthly fee of $300. The cost is consistent of estimates from our launch plan, tax, and unexpected cost.
Hi, I'm Neil Prakash.
Hi, I'm Zoe Nat, and together we're Cocoon, a sustainable social enterprise that aims to develop innovative healthcare solutions to address infant mortality in resource-limited settings. Did you know that more babies die from prematurity in their first 28 days of life than from any other cause? And did you know that many of these deaths could be prevented? Globally, prematurity is the leading cause of death in children under the age of 5 years. According to the World Health Organization, 15 million premature babies are born around the world every year. 1 million of these babies die due to complications of preterm birth. Many survivors suffer a lifetime of physical, neurological, or learning disabilities, which come at a great cost to families and society. Nearly 3/4 of them could be saved with current interventions. In high-income countries, almost all babies born after 32 weeks survive, whereas in low-income countries, only half survive. Hypothermia is a significant factor contributing to the death of preterm babies because they don't have enough body fat and are unable to regulate their own temperature. Many of these babies in developing countries could be saved with an incubator, but traditional incubators are rare and expensive. Additionally, equipment donated to hospitals is often useless because a stable electricity supply and replacement parts are unavailable. For women in villages who give birth at home and have little access to electricity, keeping babies warm means wrapping them in layers of fabric and hot water bottles. Other options include putting them under bare light bulbs or near an oven. These solutions are unsafe and cause infants to die unnecessarily. Moderate or late preterm babies can be protected against hypothermia with low-cost methods, requiring no electricity, such as kangaroo mother care. This method involves holding a baby to the bare chest, which allows for direct skin-to-skin contact between the parent and baby. Studies have also found that kangaroo care provides benefits other than external warmth, such as exposure to smell and feeling of a parent's skin, including the rhythm of the heartbeat. Kangaroo care stabilizes the body temperature, heart rate, and breathing of the baby, as well as boosts brain development. However, the problem is parents and caregivers aren't in a position to provide kangaroo care for prolonged periods of time.
Introducing Cocoon, a low-cost infant warmer for premature and low birth weight babies in developing countries. Cocoon consists of a swaddling blanket, a warming pack, and a heartbeat module used in combination to recreate the key elements of kangaroo mother care. The washable multi-layered blanket uses a warming pack which contains phase change material made from USDA certified vegetable oil that is non-toxic and biodegradable. The warming pack is heated by rolling it and submerging it in boiling water until the phase change material inside it completely melts. The pack is then slid into an insulating sleeve and allowed to cool for a few minutes before placing it in the blanket. The baby is then laid down and the blanket is wrapped around the baby. Once melted, the phase change material maintains a 37 degrees Celsius temperature for up to 4 to 6 hours until it cools into the solid phase. The warming pack can be repeatedly recharged up to 1,000 times using this procedure. The pack also has a built-in temperature indicator, which is easy to use even in low literacy areas. Cocoon not only provides thermal care, but also the parent's unique smell and heartbeat. When a parent unwraps the baby and holds it to their chest, the flaps of the open blanket absorb the parent's smell. During these sessions, the heartbeat module can also be used to record a parent's heartbeat, which is stored for playback later on. Here are the electronic components we use for the heartbeat module: an Arduino Uno board, an Adafruit soundboard, an amplifier card, and a pulse sensor. When wrapped around the parent's fingertip using the Velcro strip, the pulse sensor senses the parent's heartbeat, converts it into an electrical signal, and sends it to the Arduino board. The board uses the signal to detect and record the interval between the parent's heartbeats. In replay mode, the Arduino board triggers a heartbeat sound wave on the Adafruit soundboard at the earlier recorded intervals. The sound wave is sent to the amplifier card, which amplifies it and sends it to the speaker, and results in the infant hearing an audible heartbeat of their parent. In the final product, all this circuitry will be enclosed in a plastic case that externally has one interface and two controls. In replay mode, the heartbeat will be heard from the speaker as it is now. Here are the key features of our product. Cocoon is a non-electric infant warmer that provides thermal management and also recreates the parent's unique heartbeat and smell. It is affordable, reusable, washable, and allows for easy medical access. Cocoon is safe, and its core technology is made from non-toxic and food-grade materials. In our market, our direct competitors would be companies such as Embrace and Warmulu. While their products address the challenge of providing external thermal support to preterm babies, they do not simulate a parent's presence by providing their familiar scent and unique heartbeat. Cocoon is the only product in the market that provides both these elements. In addition, unlike our competitors, Cocoon's simple design facilitates skin-to-skin contact with parents and allows for easy medical access and treatment. The 2019 neonatal infant care market size is about $2.4 billion, with a compound annual growth rate of 7.2% from 2019 to 2026. Just over half is for thermoregulation products. Within this market, total addressable market size for incubators and substitutes is around $400 million. Since we are focused on South Asia and Africa, our service addressable market is around $40 million. Assuming we can get 10% of that market in the 5 years, our service obtainable market is around $4 million. Our go-to-market strategy has 3 phases. In the first phase, as we seek to validate the efficacy of our product, we will use nominal pricing and reach out to selected hospitals in Africa and South Asia through nonprofits such as Relief for Africa. In the second phase, we will use regular pricing and list our product on global health purchasing platforms like Via Global Health. We will drive sales by building awareness of Cocoon by holding information sessions with potential customers. In the third phase, we will expand our reach in sales by partnering with producers of complementary infant care products. We expect our per unit variable cost to be around $90. We hope to finance our first phase through the National Institute of Health R01, R03, or R21 grants and the Small Business Innovation Research Program. This will enable us to produce several hundred units for selected hospitals. In the second phase, we will seek funding sources including crowdfunding and angel investors. We will price our product at $90 and satisfy demand of a few thousand units. We will also invest in streamlining our production processes and identify outsourcing destinations. We hope to cut production costs by about 50%, leading to profitability. In the third and final phase, we expect to produce in volume and attract new investment for further expansion.
Thank you for listening to us. We hope you help us develop our product and join us on our journey to save lives, one newborn at a time.
Hi, my name is Emily Zhang, and my partner and I, Peter Liu, created Evac as a way to make dental offices a safer place and solve the dire yet ineffectively addressed problem of aerosol contamination. During an operation, dentists are exposed to bacteria and virus infection from aerosols coming from a patient's mouth. In addition, these aerosols can stick to surfaces, contaminating the area and making it unsafe for both dental workers and patients. It's a nightmare for both dentists and patients alike. In order to reduce the spread of aerosols, dental offices need to implement extraoral aerosol suction in order to capture and absorb aerosols before they can reach surfaces. Despite the need, the current technology aimed at solving the problem, extraoral aerosol suction systems, are not commonly seen in dental offices. Why? The reason why is because they use a standalone vacuum that is bulky, noisy, and generally unsuitable in a dental environment. In addition, the high price of these machines, which is around $1,000, makes it an extremely unattractive option. Due to the need, some dental offices are using DIY cups. However, these are flimsy and ineffective. That's why we designed Evac, or the extraoral vacuum aerosol cup, a device that is targeted towards reducing the spread of bacteria and viruses. But what makes Evac so different? Instead of using a standalone vacuum, we designed a suction cup to attach to a high-volume evacuator, or HVE, the existing central vacuum in dental offices. Evac is much more affordable, lightweight, and efficient than the current aerosol suction systems. In addition, Evac is made out of autoclavable polypropylene, which makes it reusable and durable. During a dental operation, Evac can be simply held in front of the patient's face by hand or by clamp to collect particles expelled from their mouth.
Evac is not just any suction cup though. Because the HVE built into dental offices has a low vacuum pressure, we made the crucial decision to aerodynamically optimize the device. To do this, we use computational fluid dynamics simulations, and we use 7 different nozzle designs to find the one with the best suction efficiency. In the end, we achieved a suction efficiency of 86%, and we expect that it will reach 90% by the end of product development. To further optimize the device, we went to a dental office and 3D printed prototypes of the cup to test its effectiveness. Here is a video of Evac in action. When pitted against market competitors in size, weight, and cost, we can see that Evac is much more compact and affordable than other products on the market. As a cup attachment, it will be priced in the market as 10 times more affordable than any other option. One concern is that extraoral dental suction devices will not be relevant after the COVID-19 pandemic. But extraoral dental devices have been an area of interest for a decade now, and the post-pandemic medical environment will only foster more awareness for disease safety precautions. Furthermore, Evac is a 3-in-1 utility device, and it functions by capturing all types of diseases, not only COVID-19. It can also perform chairside dust control for drilling procedures, as well as replace the cuspidor in procedures for saliva capture. With its 3-in-1 utility, it can remain relevant even after the pandemic.
We listed our prototypes on Amazon and eBay, and we sold 400 cups at $35 in the past couple of months. We got very positive reviews showing the strong demand. Let's hear what dentist Dr. Ting, one of our users, has to say about our product.
My hygienist, my patients found that this is very, give them a safe sense of safety and help them to suck all the extra aerosols especially during the hygiene process. And both myself, my hygienist found that they're very useful. And we like using it. Thank you very much, Peter and Emily, for your innovation.
We have already secured our position in the market with a provisional patent application and passed the FDA 510K or pre-market notifications. For our next steps, we're planning to receive the ADA Seal of Acceptance, which is the gold standard for all dental products.
Evac will first be sold to dental offices in the U.S. With 185,000 dental offices in the U.S. and 5 operatories on average per office, we can sell approximately 1 million cups in the U.S. alone, if each room uses 1 to 2 cups. Later, we will expand to growing international dental markets in Asia and Europe. For our sales strategy, we will first advertise Evac through various ways such as emailing, pamphlets, and social media, as well as dental journals and magazines such as the Journal of American Dental Association, the Dear Doctor magazine, and the Journal of Dental Hygiene. Currently, we are selling on online retail websites such as Amazon, eBay, and our own company website, but we are also planning to list our product to large dental supply distributors such as Benko, Henry Schein, and Darby Dental Supplies in order to reach out and impact more dentists. We are currently looking into 3 different sources of funding. Our primary source, which is a local dentist office, has already helped us fund with research and roll-up processes, initial production including the making of our prototype, as well as advertisement. We are also going to partner with a venture capital firm who will also help fund our mass production. Finally, we are going to apply to some research grants and partner with a small business innovation research program that has a research grant which is called NIH Research Project Grant, and this can help us in further research and experimentation. We will be using the invested money to expand our business using injection molding for mass production, as well as for advertising to dental offices and distributing to dental suppliers. As we continue to develop our product, we are also going to expand internationally, specifically in Europe and Asia. We've already had a distributor from the UK buy from our retail website and offer to distribute our product throughout his region. He has also mentioned that there have been stricter guidelines on sanitization and hygiene in his country, as well as some dental offices even requiring there to be extra oral suction systems. This gives us the perfect chance to expand into Europe.
Based on our current 2020 sales expansion plan and detailed market analysis, we projected the sales for the next couple of years. First, we considered the number of dental offices in the US, 185,000, and estimated that each dental office would purchase 3 to 5 cups, due to the number of operatories in each office being 5. If we can sell it to 1% of dental offices, that being a low estimate considering the international markets. With other extra-oral suction systems companies in consideration, we project an annual revenue of $1.8 million by 2024 with a linear growth plan. We calculated that by subtracting the unit cost of selling per product from the total profit that we get from selling. We also added on kit sales in our financial forecast because we're planning on launching a kit that includes both a clamp and a cup, which will help usability in our product. Evac is a game changer in bacteria and virus control in dental offices. By investing in Evac, you are potentially investing in a multi-million-dollar business aimed towards making disease safety and control available to all dental offices.
Dentists need Evac, and we need you.
Hello everyone, SoundVision is a high-tech startup. Its main project, the sign language translation application, can be downloaded to smartphones and PCs. Users can use video camera to capture their hand gestures, and the app will recognize the meaning of the gestures and provide text outputs. We're determined to use technology to eliminate the communication barriers between people with hearing loss and those with normal hearing. We dream of building a better world which will not leave anyone behind. I'm Carrie Han. I'm an 11th grade student at the experimental high school attached to Beijing Normal University. I'm a typical STEM girl and love to explore ways to solve daily problems with technology. As CEO and CTO of the company, I'm in charge of the overall management as well as research and development. I will make sure that our company's projects will stay up to date with the latest technology and can effectively address customers' needs.
Hello everyone, this is Jessica Wong, a grade 10 student studying Wallstar Shanghai Academy. Talking about my personal life, I'm someone who deeply fell in love with those activities that use my strong communication and critical thinking skills. As the CFO and CMO of this company, I will be responsible for the marketing and finance sections. Also, I'm greatly interested in bringing products to consumers. So first, we paired up in our volunteering work with the hearing-impaired children in Sichuan province. By communicating through letters and videos, we got to know their life and started to pay attention to difficulties faced by people with hearing loss in the society. So first of all, we began to investigate the needs for those hearing-impaired people. According to the latest statistic from WHO in March 2019, there are approximately 466 million hearing-impaired people in the world, and there will be 72 million of them in China, which is the largest in the world. We go visit the schools for hearing-impaired children and many other public organizations, and we find that for about 90% of them, they haven't gone shopping, traveling, or even seen a doctor alone. It's a big problem for them to communicate with the outside world, and also this will result in some difficulties in job application and maybe for daily socializing. Their world is full of silence and loneliness.
So how can we truly help them? The hearing aid was invented to help them hear better, but it amplifies all sounds including noises, which is probably why its usage rate is lower than 5%. The cochlear implant is another solution, which, however, costs as much as $20,000 to $30,000, being only affordable to very few families. Meanwhile, we notice that people with hearing loss communicate with each other through sign languages. However, most people do not understand it. Therefore, we aim to develop an application that can recognize sign language and translate it into text or vocal language. Currently, there are 3 types of sign language recognition technologies. The first type is wearable devices, such as data gloves. This technology adopts simple method to obtain data, but it's expensive and unwieldy. The second type is optical mark recognition. This recognition method requires complicated optical equipment, which is not suitable for daily use. Therefore, people have developed the vision-based gesture recognition method. Through investigation, we found that companies represented by Leap Motion adopts multi-cameras to recognize 3D gesture recognition, which is costly and inconvenient. Compared with applications developed by companies like Leap Motion, our application is the most practical and economical solution. With our application, gesture recognition and translation can be realized without any help of external devices. Now allow me to introduce our technology. With the 2D built-in camera equipped in any smartphones, the 2D images of gestures can be captured quickly and easily, then converted into 2D coordinates of 21 key points. However, for sign language recognition and translation, 2D information is not sufficient to define the complicated gestures in sign language or to recognize their meaning accurately. Here, our court analogy kicks in. Through neural network trained by 3D gesture modeling, our application is able to convert the 2D dataset into corresponding 3D dataset of the gesture, and thereby achieve 3D restoration and recognition. To be specific, through 3D gesture modeling, we obtain massive 2D to 3D datasets of different gestures. Trained by these datasets, the neural network built in the application is able to predict 3D information of new gestures based on their 2D coordinates. Compared with current multi-camera technology, this technology enables relatively accurate 3D gesture recognition by ordinary cameras and can be applied to sign language translation in low cost and high accuracy. Based on this technology, the sign language translation application can be downloaded to smartphones and PCs. It is fairly simple to use. First, log in the application. Secondly, capture an image of the hand gesture. Then the application will recognize its meaning and provide text output. To conclude, combining existing and new technologies, Sound Vision Sign Language Translation application allows sign language translation to be realized on mobile devices. I believe that our project will help the hearing impaired people to perform everyday activities independently, such as shopping, seeing the doctors, and applying for jobs.
So now on to the business section. About the development cost, we expect to work with one charitable senior software engineer and 2 junior engineers with a cost of 500 yuan per day for 3 months. The personnel cost can then be capped at 100,000 yuan. The software maintenance and upgrade costs will be less than 20,000 yuan per month in total. In terms of market strategies, our goal is to get the first 10,000 users as our test group with the help of internet celebrities for great social influence to spread the message online. Our goal is to grow the user base to at least 1% of the hearing impaired people in China. At last, for fundraising, we're trying to raise 300,000 RMB, which can cover the operation of application for about 1 year. It is essential to get support from the government, so we have established a relationship with China Disabled People's Foundation and other research centers for financial support. Secondly, we hope our application is going to receive support from the families with hearing impaired persons. Despite the pro bono nature of Sound Vision's application, we believe in its value as a business. It can be used as an advertisement platform for business and services that have people with hearing loss as their consumers. This technology can also apply to various other fields. Thus, we are also reaching out for VC firms to seek more investments. So these will be the 3-week slogan for our product. So first of all, we believe that technology should be for social good. And second, we want to leave more opportunities for the vulnerable groups, which means that in our mind, the world is not only for equality, but also equity. And finally, we promise that our products will definitely bring the world a better future. Thank you.
Hello, we are the Specula team and today we present the story of William. William is 65 years old. His children and grandchildren have come home for an annual Thanksgiving feast, but as he welcomes home his youngest grandson, he can't seem to remember his name. It's become a pattern lately. Perhaps it's a product of old age, but William has a constant fear of something more severe, such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. William fears this outcome and he wants to get a diagnosis, but at a time when COVID-19 is spreading like wildfire in the United States, he wants to avoid hospitals as much as possible. Yet even at the most advanced hospitals, there are still problems with the diagnosis of neurodegenerative diseases, the first being similar symptoms, which complicate the examination, and the second being that disease differences are largely in brain degradation patterns, which are difficult to analyze and require post-mortem analysis a majority of the time. Perhaps William has Alzheimer's. Over 44 million people worldwide have Alzheimer's, and early Alzheimer's is characterized by neurodegeneration in the hippocampus. Later Alzheimer's also affects the cerebral cortex, and these are difficult to diagnose. Preclinical Alzheimer's has no significant clinical symptoms, but neurodamage has already begun. The second example is Parkinson's. With over 10 million people worldwide having Parkinson's, physiologically, it's characterized by neurodegeneration in the substantia nigra, which is responsible for producing dopamine. Now, once again, there are no specific tests for Parkinson's, and doctors rely on a review of symptoms and neurological exams, which, as you can imagine, are pretty subjective. So the solution we propose today is called Specula. Specula is a system consisting of an app and a virtual reality headset. We'll begin our discussion with the app. William can get an initial diagnosis of his neurodegenerative disease using a Specula app. This app utilizes the principle that neurodegenerative diseases often cause changes in sporadic eye movement, so the app uses an eye movement test that is based on the camera of a computer or phone for some preliminary analysis. Now, mobile applications means that this initial data can be transferred to existing major healthcare centers such as Sutter Health or Kaiser Permanente, so William's doctors can easily access this information as well. Now, if William tests positive on the Specula app, he likely has a neurodegenerative disease, and he can go to the hospital to access the Specula via a headset. Now, a key issue with this app is lower accuracy. Now, medical facilities will use these VR headsets that can eliminate noise in the data that can be caused through unwanted imaging and shaking of the camera. The usage of a VR headset allows for data collection that can capture data from natural eye movement to create more accurate diagnosis. Now onto the basis and the crux of the mechanism for why the VR headset works. Eye movement. William can do a system of 4 eye movement tasks to predict whether he has a neurodegenerative disease. Those are saccades, anti-saccades, visual search, and smooth pursuit. Existing research suggests that all 4 of these tests can substantially predict whether a person has a neurodegenerative disease. Different people with different neurodegenerative diseases have different combinations of issues with these tests. For example, people with Alzheimer's tend to have problems with the saccade test and the smooth pursuit test. Thus, using these 4 tasks, using people's results from these 4 tasks, we can reasonably predict what type of disease these patients have. Specifically, we'll be using the principle of machine learning to make sure that our analysis of the data from these 4 tasks are extremely objective and as accurate as possible. So let's move on to this diagnosis process. Positive diagnosis on the Specula app. Going back to William's story, William heads to the hospital where he will begin the Specula VR eye test for more accurate eye tracking procedure and diagnosis. William will watch a book or read an ebook through the glasses while video data of his eye movement is sent to a Raspberry Pi that is the trained machine learning model previously discussed. Now this model will run its analysis on the video and a final prediction will be outputted stating the neurodegenerative disease and the model confidence or accuracy in the percentage point. All of this output will be available on a mobile phone for William to easily access. Now William can move to the treatment statement. After their diagnosis, patients can take the VR headset home to track the progression of their disease with constant updates to their healthcare provider. The Specula system fixes the most important aspect of neurodegenerative disease diagnosis, which is early detection. Late-line diagnoses leave no time for possible rehabilitation. For example, researchers Nobles and Burns estimate that intervention to delay disease progression by a year would reduce the number of predicted cases of Alzheimer's by 9.2 million. Now, this provides 2 significant advantages. First, that it would allow for early diagnosis and treatment for people like William, and second is that it enables scientists to track disease progression, which can be used to assess the efficacy of existing treatments, which can be key in future drug development.
With pharmaceutical companies racing against the clock to distribute COVID-19 vaccines, the integrity of the supply chain and safety are paramount. Almost 3,000 deaths have occurred following the administration of the COVID vaccine, and people have also suffered from adverse effects such as blood clots, seizures, and fever. These were healthy middle-aged people like you or your family. Pharmaceutical companies must have total transparency. If not, the safety of millions of people could be put at risk, and trust in vaccines, which has already been politicized, will be shattered.
When it comes to distributing something so vital, a disorganized system can lead to chaos. With multiple actors working together, with limited communication, there's a lack of transparency. These supply chains are also cold chains, meaning they are temperature dependent, adding complications. This leads to over half of all vaccines being wasted globally, according to WHO. But what about after a vaccine is distributed? With vaccines manufactured and distributed simultaneously, adverse effects are unknown. In current systems, reports of adverse effects are never verified, and there's no way for preventing them from occurring.
This is where VaxWatch comes in. We are a startup focused on using blockchain technology to track the distribution of any vaccine from the manufacturer right to the consumer, while also recording and preventing adverse effects through our new blockchain-based pharmacovigilance, or BPV. Our primary consumers are pharmaceutical companies and manufacturers, and we combat the complicated supply chain by streamlining it into an end-to-end blockchain. We also use BPV to detect and prevent adverse effects. Our product emphasizes the relationship between supply chain actors and makes blockchain accessible for each customer.
But why blockchain? Blockchain is the best way to store data as it's immutable and secure through the mining and verification of blocks. Blockchain is also a rapidly developing technology with a market size of over $3 billion, projected to grow more than 82.4% in the next 7 years.
VaxWatch offers blockchain for vaccine supply chains, as these chains are often messy and unorganized, leading to a lack of accountability. To show how VaxWatch would work, we will be modeling the process using Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccines as an example. First, the basic supplies of glass, mRNA, needles, stoppers, and dryers will be collected. The vaccines are then produced, packaged, temperature regulated, and GPS tracked. From there, the vaccines are distributed with shipping partners and sent to distribution hubs and medical facilities, often with logistical limitations and obstacles. With VaxWatch, each party associated with the supply chain will have access to the blockchain, and when actions occur, such as when a material is acquired, a block containing the information is added. During distribution, GPS location and temperature are tracked and added to the chain. With our blockchain, companies can know exactly when and where an anomaly occurs and act promptly.
Here we have an example of the interface pharmaceutical companies and other parties in the supply chain will see. The worker can log into the system, verify their credentials, and then add information to the blockchain as needed. In the example, a worker from Santa Fe is inputting information, which is then hashed, mined, and added to the chain.
VaxWatch's services do not end after the administration of a vaccine. We also offer the reporting and prevention of adverse effects. Through our simple system, healthcare professionals will enter in patient adverse effect data for a particular vaccine. This data includes gender, age, and underlying conditions. Our data is verifiable, complete, and confidential since it can only be inputted by healthcare professionals. To incentivize healthcare workers to enter reports, we create a private dashboard of adverse effect data which will contain no personal information. This ensures two-way communication between pharmaceutical companies and healthcare providers. This adverse effect data would then go through our unique process of blockchain-based pharmacovigilance or BPV. Pharmacovigilance is used to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine by detecting and preventing adverse effects. With BPV, the data in our adverse effect reporting systems will be sent to pharmaceutical companies for vaccine improvement. BPV provides immutable, secure data which makes it easier to collect and track adverse effects. It also not only helps companies maintain direct connections with their consumers which they are currently missing, but it allows them to increase their profits exponentially by modifying their vaccines. BPV has never been used with pharmaceutical companies before, which gives VaxWatch a step up with competition and a completely unique aspect.
VaxWatch will use AWS-managed private Hyperledger Fabric blockchain to store all of the data from the supply chain and adverse effect reports. Hyperledger Fabric is an open source algorithm, and for the mining, storage, and verifying of our blockchain, we'll be using Amazon Cloud Services. The interface, dashboard, and database is specific to each consumer and is made by VaxWatch. Every actor in the process will have access to ensure clarity, and all information is inputted through our interface, then verified and added to the blockchain.
Now, let's go back to the problems in the vaccine supply chain and see what VaxWatch can do. With VaxWatch, distribution can be stopped almost immediately and hundreds of deaths will be prevented. Additionally, with BPV, companies can easily find higher risk groups for an adverse effects and improve their vaccines. VaxWatch has three main competitors, both public and private. Our first competitor is VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Effects Reporting System run by the CDC. This database contains duplicate and incomplete reports and information that is never verified. VaxWatch combats this issue by only accepting reports from healthcare professionals. Our second competitor is Merck. Merck is a company that uses a blockchain system that takes patient data to determine the causes of certain diseases. The main issue they have is protecting their data, as they use a third-party server, which complicates the supply chain and compromises the privacy of clients' information. Our last competitor is Modem. Modem uses blockchain and the IoT to track the distribution of sensitive products like drugs and food. Modem uses the Ethereum blockchain, where anyone can interact with the blockchain at any time. However, with Hyperledger, which is what VaxWatch uses, parties require permission to join the network, making it even more secure. VaxWatch mainly differs from our competitors since we use BPV, a process that is completely new, setting us miles ahead of our competitors.
With the costs associated with VaxWatch, we've divided our costs into two parts, upfront costs and those dependent on the consumer or contract. Upfront costs add up to $2.8 million for 5 years, which is about $700,000 per year, including the adverse effects reporting system, day-to-day operation costs, software development, and payroll for employees. VaxWatch revenue model is dependent on contracts from a variety of parties that use our product. As a result, costs associated with each contract differ.
To give a cost revenue model, if VaxWatch makes a contract with 12 parties over a 6-month period with 192 nodes, the approximate cost for the blockchain will be $105,000. This cost is based off of AWS pricing and incorporates a variety of factors. There are also additional costs for customer service, software, and legalities, resulting in a total cost of $400,000 for this example contract. Based on the cost and talks with similar companies like Medical Chain, we would charge about $800,000 for this sample contract. Assuming we get 2 contracts for distribution and BPV similar to these in our first year, we would make a net profit of $400,000. As we grow, our projected revenue would increase with a significant margin.
In order to fund our product, we'll be pursuing a variety of funding methods, including grants, venture capital, and partnerships. In the beginning and seed funding stages of VaxWatch, our primary sources of funding will be through grants, such as those from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, and the WHO. Governmental grants and small business loans can also be pursued. After the initial seed funding stage and first contracts, we will work to pursue venture capital, more specifically from blockchain-focused firms such as Patera Capital and A16Z Crypto. Partnerships with other blockchain companies can also be established to allow for increased market reach.
We'll be working privately with pharmaceutical companies, shipping partners, suppliers, and others that are involved in the supply chain. With adverse effect tracking and BPV, healthcare professionals and the government will have access to our product as necessary. VaxWatch has a 3-phase plan to enter the market. Our first phase would consist of research and development, where we would also reach out to pharmaceutical companies and get feedback through the end of 2021. Phase 2, expected to last approximately a year, is our initial launch where we'd reach out to potential consumers. We would also be modifying our product to better fit their needs. And our last phase would be widening our market audience to the drug and other vaccine industries like the annual influenza vaccine, which would increase our ability to establish additional contracts.
Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you will help us change the world of vaccines forever through the use of our blockchain products, using the technology of tomorrow to solve the problems of today.
VitaBand, a combination of traditional Chinese medicine, modern band techniques, and humanistic care in pandemic. In this video, we will introduce from 5 aspects: necessity, product, present foundation, future development, and cost analysis.
The recent pandemic has brought attention to online teaching. Learning is already a process that involves a great many of energy-demanding mental activities. The additional stress due to technology use, or techno-stress, added to this situation makes fatigue in education a much more serious problem. People exhausting themselves in higher education tend to have a poor physical health. The Chinese Xinhua report stated that the average death age was as low as 53.3 years old for a group of 134 Chinese Science Academy and Peking University experts and professionals. This is extremely low when compared to 77.5, the average Chinese death age. With this in mind, us Vitalers connected the idea with TCM, abbreviated for Traditional Chinese Medicine, and developed the VitaBand to bind traditional Chinese theories with modern technology. The basic technical logic involves the following steps: data collection, data processing, data analysis in the cloud database, and finally output to app.
Our target audience is defined as students affected by online class fatigue, since they are a vulnerable social group under the global pandemic environment. According to an investigation, we found out an increasing demand of less expensive and better detective bracelets among 80% of 13 to 18-year-old high school students in Shanghai. Compared with other products, VitaBand has effective detection of various aspects of health based on TCM and are consumer-friendly designed. In addition, advanced and technology of 3 sensors is introduced. The existing pain point we're going to solve is that traditional Chinese medicine lacks combination with modern technology. With thousands of years' history having much clinical experiences, TCM aims to prevent problems before they occur. However, with the development of Western medicine and modern technology, TCM is considered as pseudoscience and less accessible. Appealing to Chinese people's traditional affection and trust to TCM, the Vitalers are planning to build a data pool specifically designed for TCM.
An appealing characteristic of the VitaBand is the innovative database created by Vitalers, which is mainly built by collecting preliminary datasets and verification from the authoritative TCM professionals. For the preliminary dataset, Vitalers invited a broad range of volunteers among students and teachers group in WFLA, aging from 13 to 50. We will classify those volunteers into 3 groups according to their age, which is 12 to 18, 18 to 35, and 36 to 55, respectively. And they will also have a special disease group that includes people having cardiovascular diseases like hypertension or so. The first step will be personal information collection. We will obtain information like disease history, occupation, and so on. At the second phase, which is a preliminary data test, Vitalers will require all volunteers to wear the device for 2 weeks, during which period their daily heart rate and pulses will be recorded specifically, even including sleeping time. The VitaBand has a function of self-learning the normal living style of the customer. The next stage is data analysis about everyday physical exercise, stay up late, digital device using time, mood description, pulse intensity, heart rate variability, and so on. Our data will be reviewed by the TCM professionals and make some revision. After the creative database finish construction, the VitaBand will start applying, and the new data collected from the users will be added into the current database to enrich our knowledge.
Next, I'm going to assess two markets of VitaBand. The smart bracelet market has an optimistic future. According to Global Smart Bracelet Analysis Report, the bracelet is expanding at a rate of 18.7% annually, with a prediction of over 15.7 CAGR growth rate over the forecast period. And in 2019, the global smart bracelet market size has already reached an enormous number of $370 million. However, due to the COVID-19 situation, there is a potential risk that the industry will be affected and begin to decline for a short period of time. Nevertheless, TCM, on the other hand, has gained increasing credibility because of COVID-19. According to the National Medical Products Administration, TCM was said to be used to treat 91% cases in Hubei province, 89% in Wuhan. Mass media began to promote its development. In addition, TCM itself also had a solid foundation. A research in 2019 has found that over 49% Chinese prefer TCM to Western medical treatment. In conclusion, both of the smart bracelet and the traditional Chinese medicine market own non-negligible scale and positive future.
Based on our comprehensive cost analysis, we'll have a loss of total $85,000 in the first 3 years. The short-term phenomenon is due to the high initial investment in research and development in the early stages of technology-based industry. But with time, stable sales and increasing consumer loyalty will gradually enter positive profitability in the fourth year. In fact, based on our research and general observation, smart bracelets are moving from unreachable high-tech to a standard part of everyday work life, and therefore, our profit trends fits an increasing exponential functional equation with unlimited possibilities. Therefore, we sincerely ask for $235,000 in exchange for 15% of stake of our company to cover Vitaler's total expenses for the first 3 years of business. All financial support will be invested into Vitaler's product development, technological innovation, etc. In fact, the total amount will be broken down into different parts to meet the cost of specific areas.
From March to May 2020, the company will complete the creation of Pulse database, and even after the official release of VitaBand, the data pool will still be updated every 3 months to ensure its latest accuracy. Apart from that current function of VitaBand, Vitaler's plan to explore more. Eye tracking technique will be implanted in the VitaBand application for more precise fatigue measurement in 2022, and for member users, VitaBand will further offer them contacts with local TCM professionals for more personal and professional advice. So the company plans to distribute the first batch of VitaBand product to WFLA, the cooperator with our company, in June 2021. Questionnaires will be collected about user experiences, and possible improvements will be adjusted. In September 2021, VitaBand will enlarge its market to Shanghai students, and by 2023, the company plans to sell VitaBand to customers in whole China.
In Phase 1, Vitalers will use B2B sales approach and conduct large orders via internet and directly sell to cooperating partners such as schools and health organizations. In Phase 2, Vitalers will develop internet marketing and launch some B2C connections with individual consumers through online shopping platforms such as Taobao and Amazon. Therefore, the cost of office and officer has also gone up since management and hardware development are involved. In the third phase, Vitalers will develop offline innovation and experience stores to increase sales and consumer interaction.
We are Vitalers.
Vision.
Innovation. Tradition.
Ambition.
VitaBand.
Yay.
VitaBand, better technology for better education.